All right, today we're going to talk about something kind of scary. A new, very clever piece of malware that uses a sneaky trick to get past your computer's defenses. And it does it by turning the very programs you trust against you. Let's just dive right in.
I mean, think about it for a second. What if a program you use every single day, something your security software sees and says, yep, that's fine, could secretly become a mole, an inside agent working for an attacker? Well, this isn't some science fiction scenario. It's the very real threat we're breaking down right now.
So let's meet the main culprit here. We're talking about a brand new family of malware that cybersecurity researchers are calling PDFSider. Now you see that term APT-Grade, right? APT stands for Advanced Persistent Threat. That's usually the label we give to super sophisticated, often state-sponsored hacking groups. So when you hear that PDFSider is APT-Grade, it means we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill virus. No way. This thing is built for serious cyber espionage, for taking complete control of a target's computer from halfway across the world.
And just look at this list. I mean, this thing is seriously sophisticated. It gives attackers a secret command line to work from, completely hidden. All its communications are encrypted so no one can eavesdrop, and here's the kicker. It operates mostly in your computer's memory, which makes it almost invisible to a lot of traditional antivirus software. It's even smart enough to know if it's being analyzed in a sandbox and can try to shut itself down.
And look, this isn't just some lab experiment. This malware has already been deployed in the wild against a major target, a Fortune 100 corporation. So we're talking about real-world attacks on some of the biggest companies out there. The stakes are incredibly high.
Okay, so you're probably wondering how on earth does something this powerful sneak past all the security of a massive corporation? Well, it uses a really slick technique called sideloading. But to get that, we need a super quick primer on a basic building block of pretty much all software. Okay, let's talk about something called a DLL. The easiest way to wrap your head around it is to think of a DLL file as a shared toolkit. You know, instead of every single program needing its own set of tools, they can all just borrow from this one central toolbox whenever they need to do something common. It's just a really efficient way for software to work.
So DLL sideloading is how the bad guys turn this efficient system into a weapon. They create a malicious DLL file, give it the exact same name as a legitimate one, and then they just place it right next to a trusted program. So when you go to launch that trusted program, it looks for its toolkit, finds the fake one first, and loads it. And boom, just like that, the trusted program is now doing the attacker's dirty work.
So let's walk through what this actually looks like for a victim. It all starts with a targeted email, spear phishing, that has a zip file attached. Inside that zip, you'll find the legitimate, totally harmless PDF24 creator application. But hidden right alongside it is the attacker's malicious DLL. The user opens the program, thinking it's fine, and the app unknowingly loads the bad DLL instead of the real one. And that's it. PDFSider is in, and it's running completely silently in the background.
Now you might be thinking, okay, this sounds like something only a government spy agency would use, right? A tool this advanced has to be for espionage. Well, the reality is actually a lot more widespread, and frankly, it's way more concerning for the average business out there.
Yeah, this thing has already been scooped up by ransomware gangs. You know, the criminals who are just in it for the money. They are now using this APT-grade super stealthy malware to get their first foot in the door of a company's network. And once they're in, that's when they launch their real attack, encrypting everything and demanding that huge ransom payment.
Okay, let's pull back for a second, because this technique that PDFSider uses, this whole DLL sideloading trick, it's not an isolated thing. It's actually a symptom of a much bigger and honestly a much more dangerous trend we're seeing in cybersecurity right now. I mean, the researchers are pretty clear about this. It's not just the big government players anymore. Your everyday cybercriminals have latched onto this technique because, well, it works. It's becoming the go-to method for sneaking past modern security defenses.
And this right here, this table just lays it all out perfectly. Over here, you've got a state-sponsored group, right? Mustang Panda, using sideloading for classic espionage. And then on the other side, you've got regular cybercriminals using the exact same playbook to deliver common, everyday malware that steals passwords and banking info. This is huge. The spy's playbook is now in the hands of common crooks.
So what is it about this technique that makes it so darn effective? And why is it such a massive headache for anyone who's trying to defend a computer network?
Well, the whole thing comes down to one word: trust. It completely weaponizes the trust that our security is built on. It hijacks legitimate, digitally signed programs, the exact kind of software that your security tools are programmed to ignore. And because that initial malicious activity is coming from a trusted program, it just sails right past a lot of antivirus and detection tools. It's the perfect way for an attacker to get in, stay hidden, and even gain more control over the system over time.
And that really leaves us with this big, kind of scary question. If the very software we trust can be turned against us, then what do we do? Where do we even begin to fight back? The new front line in cybersecurity might not be about building higher walls to keep bad things out, but about watching the behavior of everything we've already let inside. It really forces a total rethink of what security even means.